Hello, everybody. Welcome to our mini class this morning about how to get your mojo back in your practice. If you caught some momentum in your practice, you got in maybe those first 10, 20 clients, things were going really great, and then it kind of dropped off a little bit. So today I'm going to be talking about what to do in order to keep your practice going when that has kind of happened for you, because we don't want to give up after we've gotten so much good forward movement. So that's what today is about. And then today at 1 o'clock Pacific time, we have our whole workshop. It's just about this, right? So yeah, I look forward to seeing you. And then of course, as always, the workshops are going to continue into next month. So if you missed today's workshop, no big deal. You can catch it around next time around. But yeah, let's get to talking about this, because I know this is a big deal for a lot of people who really want their own practices, their own full, thriving practices with clients who pay their full rates. Good. So in case you're not aware, I'm Isabel Spradlin of yourmassagepractice.com, and I'm so excited to be here with you right now for our mini class. Okay. So if this very thing that we talked about has happened to you, you've built that first push in your business, you have your own space, or if you're mobile or if you're at home, it doesn't matter, but you have that first push of clients, it's going really well, you're retaining at a pretty high rate, but now it's really slowed down. You aren't getting that same influx of new clients. There are two things that we really want to be thinking about, and it's a little counterintuitive, so stick with me. The very first thing that you need to consider is mindset. So I know there's a lot that can go into how you're thinking about your practice, and you've probably heard it many times before now that there is no greater way to grow your inner self than by owning a business. And this is true because we're constantly running into these little obstacles, or maybe they're not so little, maybe they're really big obstacles. We're constantly having to learn about ourselves, how we deal with life in adversity. We have to kind of comb through every aspect of our lives, our money life, our work life, our getting things done life, our how to rest life, our self-care life. It always ties in with our family life, our home life, things like that. So there's always places to grow. And oftentimes when you hit a stuck spot in your business, you've gotten a certain amount of growth and then you can't seem to get beyond that, your mindset, it really is the first place that you need to look. And that's for various reasons. Sometimes it's very easy to figure out. Sometimes it's something as simple as, well, I got that first bit of growth. It felt really good, but my body felt kind of overwhelmed. My hands, my wrists, I was feeling tired at the end of every day, and I kind of just didn't want to bring in more clients on some level. So we're running a business. We know we need to bring in more clients, but if your body is hurting or you're not quite clear about how to keep your body healthy and working as well as possible during this growth stage, then that can slow down your willingness. It can slow down things in your mindset around continuing to bring in new clients. It can feel a little bit scary. The other thing that tends to happen is that all of the things that we do to bring in those new clients, the marketing, the possibly events, networking with other practitioners, really staying on top of client communication. As you have more and more clients in session, it sort of naturally starts to take away from the time that you have to do the building work. And so a lot of people get stuck in this sort of back and forth swing of, I'm doing all the building work, it starts to work, I bring in new clients, and then that goes on the back burner as I just work with these new clients. It's really normal to have that happen, but you need strategies in place, in business strategies, mindset strategies in place to make sure that you are continuing to do the practice building, the business building stuff, even as you're seeing more clients in session. And a lot of times the mindset thing that comes up around that is, well, that's just too much work. I need my business to allow for all of the things that I want to do outside of my business. It's too much work if I'm constantly 24/7 managing not just the business part of it, but also the in-client, in-session with clients part of it. And that's really important to know if your mindset is a little bit stuck around that. So just very briefly, we're going to talk about this way more in the workshop this afternoon, but very briefly, during your growth stage, it is more work. That's just the reality. And so I want you to think about the long term of this, not just the short term. So yes, when you're in your push, when you're in your growth, it is more tiring. It does require more time investment. It does require often more money investment. It does often require like that physical and internal growth. And that's tiring. There's no doubt about it. But it's also a stage. And if you can build through that and keep yourself going through that, then once you hit your plateau and you have, 15 clients a week coming in and you have sort of everything going on in the background, it's a little bit more background work now. You're not pushing so hard on the growth end because you don't have to, because you've already done that, then things really do even out. It does get easier. But in the beginning, there is this true blue, like, oh man, this is a lot of work. And that's okay. Dig through your mindset. Find out if there's anything there stopping you from doing that initial work. Or it's okay if you decide you want it to take longer and you want that growth stage to be less intense and longer. And that's fine too. So ask yourself all these questions. Find out about your mindset here. And oftentimes unsticking that will be enough to get you back into bringing in the new clients at your full rate that you need to be bringing in to make your business viable and help to get you unstuck. The other thing, so that ties directly into this that not a lot of people really talk about, and I hinted at it just now, is that when you are building your practice, when you're building into your stable full-time practice, however many clients a week that looks like for you, you really have to catch momentum. So like I just said, when you're catching momentum on anything, like if you think about a roller coaster sort of chugging up to the top before it roller coasters down, there's a lot of work there. That is absolutely gaining momentum is where the most effort goes into. And it's kind of a hard reality if you're not used to thinking about growing a business this way, or if you're not used to thinking about growing a specific aspect of your business in this way. So I really want you to know, like, if you get a little ways and then you start to peter out, really look at, and this is where the third piece comes in, I want you to go back and do some analysis, which simply means ask yourself questions about how did you get the initial momentum that got your practice partially built? What created this? Was it networking with other practitioners? Was it a lot of people will run that initial Groupon or social living campaign? Did that bring in a certain number of clients for you and then you tried it again and it didn't work the second time? It didn't bring in the same number of clients. You really want to look at, did you tap into a network that you already have, your family or friends network, and then that network, of course, is limited, and so it kind of petered out, and you've tapped out that network for the most part, and you're not really going to get a ton of new clients again that way. There are all sorts of places that this initial momentum comes from, and then there are all sorts of reasons why it sort of gets stalled. So I really, really, really want you to focus on, as once you've looked at your mindset and your momentum, I want you to come back and really do this analysis. Ask yourself the questions about what created this initial momentum. And then go back, it's all sort of like a circular thing. Oops, it's not quite in frame. And ask yourself, okay, so to get my next bit of momentum, do I have anything going on in my mindset that's stopping me from wanting to grow that more, to reach into a new network, establish relationships with other practitioners who can help me get my second burst of momentum? What did I do before that really worked well? Is there a way that I could do that again in a slightly different way, or is it sort of just tapped out where that first momentum came from? So ask yourself bunches of questions and really dig down. I tend to do a lot of writing around this, but really, if you can sort of look at all of this, get an honest picture of it that doesn't just sort of live as mush in your head, then I think you're going to have a much easier time moving back into the growth stage, moving back into where it becomes easier to gain that momentum again. It's going to take some creativity. It's going to take some work. That's just the nature of it. And that's okay. So that's what we have for this morning for our mini class. Of course, there's so much more to dig into here. There are lots of other questions you can ask yourself, lots of other ways that you can go about this. But this is a really good place to start. So if you're struggling with this, I hope this helps you sort of unstick and have some ideas for how to move forward again. If this is interesting to you to do the larger workshop now or in the future, I look forward to seeing you then. Okay, have a really great day. Bye.